Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a show that, on the surface, looks like your standard high school rom-com from 2008, Toradora.
Yeah, it really draws you in with that familiar setup. You've got these two high schoolers, Ryuji Takasu and Taiga Aisaka. They find out, oh, hey, you like my best friend, I like yours.
Right, so perfect plan. Let's make a pact, help each other out, a pact of convenience.
Exactly, classic matchmaking premise.
But here's the twist, and what our sources dig into, that whole setup. It's basically misdirection. It's not really about the matchmaking.
Not at its core, no. It's actually this incredibly insightful, sometimes really quite painful look at how teenagers figure out who they are. It's psychological.
It's all about identity formation, hiding behind these personas. The real conflict isn't, will they get their crushes? It's this internal battle they both fight. Who they seem to be versus who they actually are deep down.
It defines them. So let's break down those personas. First, Ryuji Takasu. He's got these really sharp, kind of scary eyes he got from his dad, who is apparently Yakuza, or involved somehow. Yeah, so everyone just assumed, okay, this guy's a delinquent. Stay away.
But inside,
yeah,
totally different. He's gentle, super meticulous, loves cleaning, loves cooking. He's basically like the ultimate homemaker, compulsively taking care of things.
And then there's Taiga Aisaka. She's tiny but fierce. They call her the Palmtop Tiger. She's known for being aggressive, volatile.
But it's all a front, isn't it?
Completely. It's a defense mechanism. Underneath that tiger exterior, she's incredibly lonely, kind of emotionally stunted, really, because of her family background. Very fragile.
So that's our mission for this deep dive, using the sources to unpack how Toradora takes these familiar high school tropes, these character masks, and uses them to show this really tough but necessary journey, tearing down the facade to find the real self. Okay, so let's dive into that core conflict, this huge gap between appearance and reality. It's not just Ryuji and Taiga, it's pretty much everyone, right?
Yeah, the whole main cast struggles with it. And what the analysis really highlights is that those initial crushes, Ryuji liking Minori, Taiga liking Kitamura, they aren't really romantic in the way you'd first think.
What are they then?
They're described as psychological safety blankets. Think about who they picked. Kitamura, the super reliable, perfect class vice president.
Always says the right thing.
And Minori.
Yeah.
She's this bundle of endless energy, always positive, always working multiple jobs. They're ideals.
Oh, okay. So they represent things Ryuji and Taiga feel they lack. Stability, maybe. Optimism.
Exactly. And by chasing someone idealized, someone on a pedestal, you get to engage with the idea of romance.
Oh, without the messy reality.
Precisely. Without the risk of real emotional intimacy, which is terrifying for them. If you get rejected by perfect, well, it wasn't your fault, right? It was just impossible from the start.
So they're protecting themselves.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the pact. If they can't handle direct vulnerability.
The pact becomes this psychological loophole, a necessity. They can't just say, hey, I'm lonely or I need help.
No way.
But they can say, we have this mission. We need to strategize. It gives them cover.
So the mission is the excuse they need to actually start caring for each other.
Yes. Ryuji starts cooking for Taiga, cleaning her disastrous apartment, basically managing her life because she literally can't manage it herself.
And she, in turn, defends him fiercely when people judge him for his looks or assume he's a thug.
They're doing these incredibly intimate acts of care, building this deep reliance, but all under the guise of, oh, we're just partners in this dating scheme.
It's intimacy through action, not words. They build the relationship without ever having to admit they're building it.
Exactly. It happens organically, almost accidentally, because the pact gives them permission.
Yeah.
And all of this drama unfolds within that classic setting, the Japanese high school, which the show uses brilliantly, but also kind of turns on its head.
How so? I mean, there's that cultural idea, right? Seishun.
Yeah, Seishun, the green spring of youth. It sort of idealizes adolescence as this beautiful, formative time, maybe a bit carefree, full of potential.
But Toradora says, maybe not so carefree.
Definitely not. It shows high school less as this idyllic space and more as this intense, self-contained world, a pressure cooker, the social labels, delinquent, tiger, the perfect model, Amy. They aren't just nicknames.
They stick, they become prisons.
Yeah, psychological prisons, identities that are forced on them that they then have to fight against or live up to. And the show uses all those typical high school milestones.
Like the summer trip, the festival?
Exactly. It uses them as crucibles to crank up the emotional pressure until those carefully constructed masks start to crack.
Okay, let's take the summer vacation arc. They're away from school. away from their usual routines.
Their social supports are gone. They're kind of thrown together, forced into more intimacy than they're comfortable with. And that's where Minori drops that really haunting metaphor about searching for ghosts.
Oh, yeah. That was chilling. She wants to believe in love, this invisible thing, but
she's terrified of actually finding it, finding the real, messy, possibly painful ghost of love in reality. It's why she keeps running, working constantly.
if she stops, the ghost, her own feelings, especially for Ryuji, might catch up.
That's the interpretation, yeah. It's avoidance, keeping busy to avoid feeling. Then you get the cultural festival. That's supposed to be fun, right? School spirit.
But for Taiga, it's devastating. Her estranged dad flakes on her. Again, breaks his promise.
And it happens publicly. It's not just a private hurt. It's this raw display of her abandonment issues right in front of everyone. That vulnerability forces Ryuji to step up purely protectively, dropping the whole strategic mission pretext.
And the final nail in the coffin of denial is the ski trip, right?
Totally. They're isolated. There's the accident with Taiga snowboarding. The stakes are super high. All that stress just wears them down.
Until there's no filter left.
No filter.
Yeah.
Leading to that iconic moment where Taiga basically confesses her feelings for Ryuji while half conscious, and he overhears. After that, there's just no going back. The game of pretending is over.
We definitely need to spend more time on Taiga. She's often called, like, the textbook Sunder.
Oh, absolutely. Quintessential example. That mix of sun being harsh, cold, kind of prickly.
And dare the sudden switch to being affectionate or flustered.
And there's a reason that trope is popular. Psychologically, it taps into something called the gain loss principle. Affection that you have to earn feels more valuable than affection that's just given freely.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But Toradora doesn't just leave it as a cute personality quirk.
Not at all. It grounds her sun side firmly in trauma, serious trauma. Her aggression, her pushing people away, it's a direct result of severe parental neglect, emotional abandonment. She grew up in this wealthy home, but was essentially ignored, then pushed out.
So the lashing out is a defense.
It's a maladaptive coping mechanism. She tries to control situations by pushing people away first so they can't abandon her later. It's preemptive self-protection.
Wow. And that dysfunction slots right into Ryuji's issues, doesn't it?
Perfectly. His whole personality is built in opposition to his absent father. The Yakuza image, the intimidation. Ryuji reacts against that by becoming obsessively responsible, nurturing, domestic.
He had to become the parent for his own young mother.
Right. And then he steps into that same role for Taiga, which leads to this really intense symbiosis between them.
They're building a found family, each one providing what the other desperately needed and never got from their actual families.
Ryuji gets to be the stable, caring provider he feels he has to be. Taiga gets the consistent care and structure she craved. It's deeply comforting for both of them.
But potentially unhealthy.
Hugely. It's described as a potential psychological trap. Codependency. And you see the danger really clearly during the cultural festival arc when Ryuji pushes Taiga so hard to reconcile with her awful father.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. He just couldn't accept how bad the dad was.
Because he was projecting his own desperate longing for a good father figure onto Taiga's situation. He needed that reconciliation fantasy for himself to deal with his own paternal abandonment issues.
He couldn't see he was hurting Taiga by pushing his fantasy onto her reality.
Exactly, and realizing he prioritized his need over hers is a massive turning point for his own growth. He sees the destructive side of his compulsive nurturing.
Which makes Taiga's final decision even more powerful, choosing to leave for a year.
It's critical. It completely rejects the easy out, the codependent fantasy of just running away together and hiding from their problems by playing house.
She realizes she needs to fix her own foundation first, confront her mother, learn to stand on her own 2 feet.
Yes, so she can come back not as a dependent, but as an equal partner. It's about achieving independence before committing to interdependence. And we can't forget the supporting cast. They aren't just background noise. They're crucial catalysts, and they embody that same facade versus reality struggle. They actively push Ryuji and Taiga forward.
Let's start with Minori. That relentless energy, the Genki Girl persona, always smiling, always juggling jobs.
It's a performance, the most obvious performance of happiness in the show. She's constantly moving, almost literally running, so that, as she kind of implies the terrible thing, her own complex feelings, her guilt can't catch up.
And the guilt is key, right? She clearly has feelings for Ryuji too.
Absolutely. But she buries them under this intense, almost self-destructive loyalty to Taiga. She convinces herself that sacrificing her own feelings is necessary for Taiga's happiness. It's noble on the surface, but ultimately quite damaging to everyone.
Then there's Ami Kawashima, the martyr, perfect looks, sweet public persona.
But underneath, she's maybe the most cynical, perceptive character in the whole group, and deeply lonely because of it.
She sees through everyone's acts.
Totally. Because she lives in the adult world of modeling, where managing appearances is the entire job. She acts as the story's unwilling oracle, as one source put it.
Unwilling?
Yeah, she doesn't seem to enjoy pointing out the flaws, but she does it anyway. She uses her sharp intuition to just call out the lies, sometimes cruelly, but usually accurately.
She's the first one to really nail Ryuji and Taiga for playing house, right?
She forces them to see their codependency. Her bluntness is often what breaks the stalemate when everyone else is too afraid to speak the truth. Her loneliness kind of fuels her honesty in a weird way.
And Kitamura, the reliable class rep, Mr. Dependable.
His breakdown is huge. When he suddenly bleaches his hair, quits the student council, gets all withdrawn after being rejected, it shatters his image.
It shows that nobody is immune.
Exactly. It reinforces the core theme for everyone, the characters and us, the viewers. Even the person who seems the most stable, the most put together, is fighting their own battles underneath. That perfect exterior is just as fragile as anyone else's.
Okay, so if we bring it all together, Toradora maps out this journey. It starts with those surface crushes based on idealized images.
Infatuation based on personas.
Yeah, and it moves towards something much deeper. Genuine love, which the show argues, can only be built on knowing and accepting the other person's flaws, their messy reality. Mutual support through the hard stuff.
And the analysis really connects this back to that opening monologue, you know, the one about searching for this thing no one has ever seen.
Right. What is that thing?
The sources argue it's not just love in the romantic sense. It's broader. It's happiness, sheer whiz.
So the show isn't just about finding a partner.
No. Its ultimate point seems to be that true happiness isn't some external prize you win, like getting the guy or the girl, or achieving some perfect social image.
It's something internal.
It's achieved through that really difficult, painful process of self-acceptance, finding the courage to be your authentic self, warts and all.
And that discovery, knowing and accepting yourself, that's what makes real connection possible.
That's the argument. It's presented as the absolute prerequisite. You have to find yourself before you can truly find or truly connect with someone else in a meaningful way.
Wow. Okay, so that leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought to chew on, maybe. If Toradora suggests this unseen thing, this happiness, has to be found inside first, what external prize might you be chasing right now? And could it actually be distracting you from the maybe harder but more important work of figuring out and accepting your own authentic self?